Susano, God of the Summer Storm, is a mechanically complex jungler in Smite 2. He requires some practice to get things done right, but when mastered, he's fast, powerful, and feels real smooth to pilot. I'll explain more when we get deeper into the kit, but for now, let's talk about his very important passive. One of the biggest changes from Smite 1, Susano, to Smite 2 is his passive, Storm's Edge. After Susano uses an ability, if he auto-attacks a target, he applies a debuff to the enemy he hits, which is indicated by the little blue bubbles underneath the player's health bars. At up to 2 stacks, enemies have reduced strength, 10% of it. At up to 4 stacks, the enemies are also slowed by 15%. And at up to 6 stacks, the enemies take 10% increased damage from all sources. These debuffs stack with each other, so that means that you don't lose the 1 to 2 stack benefit after you get 3 to 4 stacks on a god. This passive really incentivizes a concept called auto-canceling in MOBAs, where you weave auto attacks in between your abilities and fire your ability as soon as your post-fire animation starts when you auto-attack. This can be tricky and difficult to master, but thankfully Hi-Rez has made it a little easier to auto-cancel with Susano and Smite 2. Now, how do you use enough abilities to apply so many stacks? Well, Susano's abilities come with a lot of additional casts, like his one, Storm Kata. He can fire it 3 times before it goes on cooldown, with each hit doing something a little different. His first attack deals damage in a cone in front of you. This hit deals the most damage out of the 3 hits, decreasing with each cast. The second attack spins, dealing slightly less damage in an area around Susano, and the third attack dashes forward, dealing a very small amount of damage, almost half as much as the first one. But what makes these powerful is not only because it's a 3-hit attack, that base at rank 5 in the ability deals 350 plus 105% of your strength as damage, but that it's also incredibly easy to weave auto attacks in between each cast to further increase your damage incredibly quickly. This takes some practice, and before playing Susano, I'd commit to learning how to use his abilities in practice before taking him into a real game. Second ability is Wind Siphon, which shortly channels a cone in front of Susano. Enemies hit in the inner area of the cone pulls them towards you, which also guarantees a free basic attack. It's much less flashy, but a pull is a premium CC that isn't frequently seen on many Smite kits. His third ability is Jetstream, which throws a gust of wind forward that stops at walls or the first enemy hit, creating a storm around them. If it hits an enemy god, it becomes attached to them for the duration of the storm. It's very powerful because you can recast Jetstream to instantly teleport to the location of the storm. This allows you to play a mind game with your opponent where, like, are you going to escape before the Jetstream teleport goes off? Or are you going to wait for them to escape before teleporting to them? You can often force someone to use their escape before you teleport, which if you ever do, that often means that you've just given yourself a free kill. What's also important is that in the act of teleporting to your storm, it also resets your basic attack. This allows you, if you can imagine, to deal a lot of damage in very, very short succession. Finally, Typhoon is his ultimate move. He summons a massive tornado which deals damage over time in an area as the tornado swells. After reaching full size, or after you recast the ability, it launches the tornado in the direction you're facing, which is relevant to the cast location of the tornado. So at max size, it hits for 100% of your strength, but more often than not, you're usually recasting a tornado for the knockup and not the damage. Honestly, a large portion of Susano's damage comes from his basic attacks, and by abusing the item Hydra's Lament, which deals bonus damage on your next auto attack after using an ability. During the course of your main fast combo, you'll auto attack enough times that Hydra's ends up proccing more than 100% of your strength as bonus damage. Susano is not for the faint of heart when it comes to Smite gods, and requires far more effort and practice to perform on him. If you're willing to put in the effort and lose a bunch of games, Susano can be one of the most rewarding junglers in the game. Here's an example of the fast combo. I'm going to try to put it up. Try to practice at least to this point where when you use your one combo, it's looking as fast as mine. I'm not a huge Susano player. I just put a little practice into trying to combo as fast as possible, and honestly, you and me both probably need more practice on Susano, I imagine. Anyways, thanks for watching. This guide is a bit longer and more detailed due to the complexity of the character's kit. I worked pretty hard on it, and I hope it helps new and returning players alike jump into Smite 2.